up, ladies and gentlemen? I trust you're doing well, that you're enjoying your day. Welcome to, we're just about to get started with Myles Gibbon, founder of the QB movement and one of my great friends, one of my, I'd say we're as close as brothers now. I'm just going to wait for the QB movement to come online, and then we'll get things started, man. I'm so excited. Oh, there he is. Perfect. So we're on, and then we have the request. I'm excited. Just like go. Yes, sir.
Oh, what up, my man?
Can you hear me properly?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
All right. Perfect, man. First off, bro, thank you for being here, man.
Hey, man. Thanks for having me. I see you've been doing a few of these, so I'm proud to be one of the awesome guests.
Bro, like I'm kind of nervous. I'm excited for people to hear your story. I know a bit of it, but so to everyone listening, everyone watching, welcome to Gold Nuggets. I started this show so people could hear the stories of people that inspire me and motivate me to be the best that I can be. And who else better than Mr. Myles? For those of you who don't know, Myles has when it comes to football, has an insane journey that you guys are going to hear about in just a few minutes. But apart from football, Myles is one of the best humans that I've been around. Your calmness and peace of mind brings me peace, bro. And I think it's contagious, especially when we're in the huddle, and it's like third down and long, and we got to get that first down. But apart from that, bro, thank you for being here. So let's start it off. Talk to us a bit about your youth, where you started playing football, where you lived, so people know, like your foundation.
Yeah, I'm born and raised, here in Montreal. I grew up in St. Rose, so my dad was a hockey player, football coach, hockey coach. He did it all. Started playing soccer, and then I watched a Green Bay Packers game and saw Brett Favre sling it, and I told my dad I want to start playing football. So started at 7 years old and just never really looked back.
7? How old are you now?
I'm 31.
31. Holy shrimp! That's a lot of football.
Yeah. So it's only natural that it's literally become my entire life. It's all I do: eat, sleep, and dream it. So no, man, things are good. Things are good.
Crap. And so you started playing at 7. For which city which team did you play for?
So I grew up playing with Chambly. So I started with the Chambly Blues when I was a little kid. Then I went out to the North Shore side. So I played with the Lions and the Mustangs. And then from there I ended up at Vanier.
Vanier. And actually at Vanier, I remember like watching you and hearing stories about you, watching the highlights and stuff. If you guys, it's still on YouTube, right?
Yeah, it's still up there. You can go see some blurry handheld camera highlights. It's not like what they have today, but it's still up there.
It's worth the watch, guys. Go on YouTube, type in Myles Gibbon Vanier football, and you'll see a few of his clips. Talk about a bit your process from high school to CGEP in terms of life, of the studies, and then about of football, the difference in level.
I mean, for me, like I was always just very like not necessarily good at school, but it wasn't hard. I wasn't getting 95s in all my classes, but it wasn't something I really struggled with. So the transition from high school to CGEP wasn't too bad. If anything, it was a lot easier. That little sense of freedom, definitely helped. When it comes to football, it's kind of like with every level, like it ups a notch. And that's why you see, the player levels and the amount of guys that go up through the levels, it starts to drop. But yeah, so it was definitely like a big jump because, Vanier was at the top of the game at that point. So I went into a program that was surrounded with a lot of really big talent. And I was fortunate enough to sit on the bench my first year and watch some really good guys win a Bowl d'Or. So it kind of it helped feed that that fuel to, continue that into the next year, and we were fortunate to do it.
Holy crap! Who was the QB your first year? Do you remember?
It was when Liam was out there. Uh,
Holy crap! That's
so Liam was
big.
for me. We played together at North Shore as well, so he was always that one level on top of me. And then when he left to go to university, it was my turn.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. So
good dude.
and and how did you like playing Vanier? How was your offense pretty much? How was your offense?
I mean, there's always these debates on like who had the best Vanier team of all time. I think my second year, I think we're up there with some of the best. Like we had like in that moment, probably like the best O line you could ever ask for. We had some studs at receiver. Durani was the go-to guy. He was huge, he was tall, he was fast. We had a crazy running back, and our defense was just scary. So no, I think we were the best Vanier team of all time. But I mean, that's what everybody.
And how long were you there? 2 or 3 years?
I did three. I did three.
3 years. 3 years. And so you did 3 years, and then if I'm correct, you went to the States for university, right?
Yeah. So after my third year, I was fortunate enough. I got a full scholarship to go to the University of South Alabama, which was just something pretty big for Canadian quarterbacks at that time. But yeah, it was a really good opportunity and a really great situation, and it just all kind of worked out.
Wow. And the football program, right? When you got there, was it like before you got there, was a football program running or?
Yeah, so they had a program that it shut down, and basically they were relaunching the program. So I was fortunate enough to be part of the first team um, to literally start the program back up. So it was amazing because it was all brand new, state of the art facilities. It was a great opportunity to go into because everybody was on an even level playing field. So it was a pretty good opportunity. But yeah, when I got there, everything was just brand new. And I was fortunate enough to be the first starting quarterback in history there and throw the first touchdown in history. It was pretty cool. But now they're doing great things. They just built a brand new stadium. They're doing well.
Holy crap, bro. Have you since you graduated from there, have you been back?
Unfortunately, not. I keep wanting to go. I wanted to actually go this past season because they opened up the new field. But obviously with things that have happened, didn't work out. But no, soon enough, and definitely obviously want to take the wife there too and the kid. So we'll go back down memory lane soon.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. So from Vanier to South Alabama, and then you continue your studies here in Canada. We almost got to play together at ConU. It
Oh no.
was I remember when you came back and we were practicing together. I'll never forget that day. But if I'm correct, you went to York. You
Yeah.
ended up going to York.
Yeah, I got my bachelor's degree in psychology at University of South Alabama, and then as football is, I ended up transferring out after 3 years. Came back to Canada. Um, I had to pursue graduate studies, so I wanted to get a master's degree, and York just ended up being the spot that fit the best.
Wow, and how was playing football there?
It was good. It was a great experience. They were a struggling program, and it was kind of a way to see what we could do there. So we definitely did. We did very well compared to what they had been doing. But just trying to rebuild the program a little bit. But I had a blast. Great coaches there, great environment, and obviously I met my wife there. So
Wow, I didn't know that. That's awesome.
yeah.
That's awesome. So, wow. So then York, and then in terms of football, you stopped for a few years, if I'm correct, and then we
Yeah,
met up at Bulldogs, right?
Yeah, so I played 2 years. I was fortunate enough I got to go to the CFL Combine. Didn't get drafted, and then that's when the whole idea of the QB movement started. And then, yeah, it was 2 years I think that I wasn't playing, maybe even 3 years. And then, yeah, when we got back to Montreal, you guys kind of roped me into this old man football. But
Yeah, yeah, it's a fun league. We'll put it that way. So, um, talk to us a bit about the progression on how the QB movement started. So from the start, and the progression until now.
I mean, it was weird. Like at first. I wanted to be a coach. You know, I was like, I love football. It's all I know really. And I was like, this is what I'm going to do. And I love it. And then the real love started when, you know, I was looking around, I was trying to think like, what could I have done better as a player growing up? And I was just always going back to the idea of, you know, I always had great coaches, but I never had someone to really specifically break down every aspect of what I'm doing. And, you know, it was just, especially in Canada, there is some great talent that's not being really developed. So the idea just came up, just, hey, how can I impact as many quarterbacks as possible? So if you go onto a team, you're going to have a room of about 4 kids. So I was like, you know what? I know there's a lot of quarterbacks out there. Let me train them, you know, privately, individually. And then it, you know, I made the snowball, and then it just started rolling and rolling. And, you know, started in Toronto with no quarterbacks. I didn't train a kid out there. I helped out at a couple camps. Then I moved to Ottawa for 2 years, where, you know, I was coaching, you know, about 6 kids towards the end of it. Got back to Montreal, and that's when it all blew up. And, you know, this past summer, we trained over 200 quarterbacks.
200 quarterbacks.
200 quarterbacks come through this program this summer, which is pretty awesome.
So I'm guessing that's like most of all CGEP quarterbacks.
Yeah, well, I mean, we have little guys like I have my, you know, the young gunners. They're 7 to 12 years old, and then we got a bunch of the high school guys, and we got the university guys, and then, you know, some of the guys who are from down south, and, you know, it's been pretty fun. It's been a fun year.
I mean, for everyone watching, listening in, I've got to see the young dudes work with Myles, and I got to say, I'm excited to watch them grow,
Yeah.
because for them to have that knowledge from a young age, and then move up to next level, it's going to be kind of scary to watch them.
Cool to see, you know, 7, 8 year olds with, you know, better mechanics than some guys, you know, in the pros. Like it's fun to watch, and, you know, they're super excited. But yeah, these are little kids, man. If we can build them up, you know, who knows what the potential of.
Yeah, that's true. And one thing that I do appreciate is are the parents that watch. There's a lot of parents that stay and watch, and are so they're amazed by like what their kids can do.
Yeah.
And for everyone who hasn't told you, bro, thank you. Because what you're doing, again, it's never been seen. I think a bit with Mr. Ron Abu.
Yeah, so he was my QB. Like I said, there's been a few guys, you know, who have trained quarterbacks. It's happened, but you know, no one full time. You know, the idea. I remember when it started, people were just telling me, you know, there aren't enough quarterbacks to train in Montreal. You know, and, you know, you're not going to be financially stable training quarterbacks. Blah blah blah. And I figure, you know, in life with anything, like if you're good at something, you know, it'll be successful, and if you love it, it's going to be successful. So that was definitely the route I took. And, you know, when it comes to that, you know, I was working, you know, 2 jobs for the longest time, and, you know, only recently was it able to turn full time. So I definitely put in the dues. But if you love something, it's going to be successful. So you know, a lot of the other quarterback coaches were really good, but, you know, it was always, you know, the pastime, like it was what I'm doing on the side kind of thing, where I just kind of put it in the forefront and said that's what I'm going to attack.
Wow, so you really revolutionized the QB game pretty much, because again, this has never been seen, like you just explained. And watching it, you have a wave of momentum that's like it's picking up even more as you go. And it looks at some point it looks easy, but that's because we a lot of us haven't seen, like you said, all the work that was put in the dark, and now it's coming out and everybody can see it.
People who know me close know how much time I put into it, but it's also because I love it. Like I want to put the time in, so it definitely moves a little bit faster. But you know, end of the day, like I said, if it's something you enjoy doing, it's always going to pick up momentum, right? That wave is always going to continue crashing. Like it never slows down. And, you know, at the end of the day, you have to level up. Like that was one thing I remember one coach told me is, if you're going to get into this, you got to make sure you're doing something new and something different every season. So you can't just stay stagnant and assume everything's going to be good. It's always finding the next step. And that's a major approach that I've always taken.
Wow, because so that's almost it's like what you know will only bring you where you are, so you need to learn more, and that's awesome. That's awesome. So let's talk about why you decided to come back and play football. It's like 2 years ago.
It's one of those things, it's that effect where even when you think you're done, you're not done. And if you love the sport, you love the sport. And honestly, one of the biggest reasons why I came back, because initially I told myself I wasn't. The main reason I wanted to come back was just I saw the guys that were there. It was a great group of guys, guys I played with in the past, guys I'm friends with currently. So it was definitely the vibe of the guys who brought me in. It wasn't. It was more being able to just ball out with some of my friends again, as opposed to that just desire to play football. And definitely that's been the best part of it for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I remember how many we have two touchdown passes the first game we played together. It's two.
First two of men. Yeah, and life is easy, right? Life is easy when you have a Jamal Henry. So
Yeah.
those who follow Jamal and know probably one of the freakiest athletes in the world. So yeah, life is easy for a quarterback with guys like you.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. It's I think it's a connection though. It's
That's definitely true. And I told you that last year when you came back. It's just like some guys on the field you just have that mental like connection with. Like that Tom Brady, Julian Edelman kind of situation. Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, like you know, you know these guys, like you just have a connection with someone. Sometimes it just works. You don't know how to explain it, but we definitely have that. That's for sure.
we don't have to talk. It just happens.
Yeah,
It
that's
just
it.
happens. And to everybody listening in, you need to find yourself someone to connect with on the team, not to separate, but like that again, like we don't have to talk, but once we're on the football field, we know exactly where we are. So Myles will throw the ball. Like, I remember one time, like, bro, did you know I was actually no, I just threw it because you'd be somewhere there. So
I'll put a spot you get me out of trouble. That's how some of the best do it. You don't always see, what happens to the ball. You just kind of put it where it needs to go, and you let your playmaker do something.
and that's confidence in your teammates, ladies and gentlemen. It's when you have that level of confidence in all your teammates, not just the person you're throwing the ball to or you're catching the ball from. Um, the guys blocking for you, your safety that's going to make that last tackle. It brings, and this is it's just to talk about the team. Like we've won 3 championships, but it brings a certain level of awareness throughout the team and throughout the league that we're a team that we're here to have fun and play football. So man, I'm appreciative of all the plays we got to play together. um, Last season, I mean, I'm talking about last season, but like it's still not over technically. Um,
What's going on? No, there's no guarantees for anything, so we're just kind of going with the flow, seeing what happens. Same thing
yeah,
with just life in general, right? So just trying to make do with what we can, but you know in the grand scheme of things, football is very low when it comes to making sure we're taking the right precautions to just kind of become healthier and better with what's going on in the situation. So I figure if we fix that first, we'll be able to play football as long as we want. So
yeah, that's true. That's true. So let's look at your life from when you were born until now,
all
because
right.
I assume you remember the day you were born, right? Um, what is you take your time to think about it. What is one thing that you think has brought you this far? Whether it's your character, your attitude, your drive. What is one thing that you think like really brought you through football, through school, through going back and forth from the States through Canada to
um
yeah,
I definitely think it's that understanding of balance between humbleness and confidence. That's definitely something I think, especially not only as a quarterback, but as a human, you got to really be in control of, right? Where so people do want to be around you, but at the same time, they're not scared to be around you. But at the same time, you don't seem like you can be walked on. You're just it's that fine line. I think it's an absolute necessary characteristic for a quarterback, but just being able to know when you can be really confident, when to, show respect to those around you, and just be humble. So that, I think that's definitely one of my main characteristics. And yeah, if you'd ask me, I'd say that's probably it.
Wow, that's I like that answer. I'm gonna have to go back and write those notes down. Um, and this may be a harder question, but what's the biggest obstacle that you had to overcome, or one of, because there might be a lot, most probably a lot, but what's one of the biggest obstacles that you had to overcome through your journey?
I'd say just general doubt, the idea of doubt, whether it's doubting yourself or people doubting what you can do. Um, that, I mean, it's one of the words we use the QB movement all the time. We have the word undoubted, just the idea of, always, it's not expecting it, but being ready, for doubt. Or, people are going to doubt you. People are going to, either whether it's talking shit or whether it's, not supporting you. Like, there's always going to be doubters out there. So, you know, whether it was when I was playing, after a bad game or throwing a pick or, losing a championship or, all the doubt, starts to come in. Right. And being able to manage that and then just, move past it. Right. So, making sure that, through the doubt, like, you can overcome it, but it's definitely something that's played a huge role, like, in my life on multiple occasions. So I'd say in whole, like, probably just the idea of, beating that doubt when it happens.
Wow, wow, that's deep. Um, and like you said, like doubt is, for everyone listening, doubt is something that's very scary, and one of the worst is self-doubt, right? Because everything starts inside. Um, and when you start to doubt yourself, it can really bring your life to a halt. So one thing that we can do is remind ourselves that, again, first, that we're unique, right? Through all the thousands of years past and the thousands of years ahead of us, no one has ever been us, no one is us, and no one will ever be us. So believe in what you do, and you have the example right here on camera. So Myles believed 110% in what he did. He started the QB movement, and say it's your passion. Is it, so
It's one of those things where I think it's even bigger than that. Like, I don't know what it is. It's just
it's
part of me. And not just the idea of football, right? Just the idea of, teaching, the idea of, helping others, reach their goals or, get better at something they really love. 200 quarterbacks a summer, the chances of one going pro is even rare, right? So it's not looking, what's the end result. It's that process, right? So, watching them smile throughout the process and, watching them learn and go back and tell their dad, like, hey, I got better today. Or hitting me up on Instagram saying, coach, like, I feel so much better. That's the best part of it. And it's more than football, I guess. And that's why I think I love it so much, because it's not just a sport. But yeah, there's a lot to it.
wow. So understanding that doubt is part of the process, and that you're going to get better as long as you keep going.
That's it,
But
man.
man, I love it. I love it, bro. So moving forward, so now we had 200 quarterbacks this past summer. Um, what would be, because I know you're always developing, what would be the next step uh, in terms of the QB movement, um, and in terms of not necessarily uh, getting more quarterbacks. I know for sure there's going to be more, but
Yeah.
bettering, getting to the next level for your teaching.
It's just learning every day. I mean, it's a little bit bad timing because there's some, like, major news in the works right now that I can't talk about, but something big is happening. Um, but it's always progressing, right? So making sure that, you know, and this is what I tell anybody who gets into coaching is, like, you got to be out there watching and reading and listening to everything, right? So it's finding, what's good and how you can make it better. It's watching, what's really bad and finding out, what was the intent behind it, and then using that intent to make it good, right? So it's just always leveling up and always, learning and advancing, right? So every year, or every kind of season, I always look back and I'm always like, man, I'm such a better coach now than I was back then. And then in that moment, I'm like, well, how am I supposed to get better than where I am now? But then, in 6 months, I'm going to look back and be like, man, I'm such a better coach now than I was. And it's just by always finding new ways to either just learn or develop, a different part, right? So, playing quarterback it's not just a physical thing. It's a mental thing. There's a lot to it. So it's, learning a little bit more about playbook and scheme and defenses and all that kind of stuff. So it never ends. And I'm kind of always on the hunt for, what can I do next kind of thing. So I think that's kind of where it's going. And then obviously once, if things work out like they're supposed to with this next step that's about to happen, which you'll hear about soon,
Yeah.
definitely going in the right direction. That's for sure.
Awesome, bro. Awesome. So, man, I'm excited. I'm excited for the news then. I can't wait to hear it, hear about it. So we have your Instagram handle, the QB movement.
Yep.
I'm assuming any QB or any athlete that's watching right now that wants to get in contact with you can direct message you on the QB movement. Are there any other social media on other social media platforms that we can contact you if we want to get in touch with you?
There's a website I do have a website that they can reach me at, but Instagram is definitely the best. You can also hit me up on Facebook, but Instagram's probably the best. It's where I waste too much of my time.
Actually, one more question. So, because of course, to find new content, you need to watch a lot of videos. I'm assuming I do
Yeah.
that all the time, even though I don't coach anymore. Um, um, what do you or what are few? Do you know a few accounts by heart, or an account that you know by heart that you go watch a lot to see?
That's the weird part. So it's like it's especially in this stuff, it's very hard to, like, you don't want to be a copycat, right? And that's what I see, and that's what a lot of coaches do, right? It's very copy and paste. So like I said, like I'll watch anything and everything, right? Like I got great coaches I follow, and then I got really bad coaches I follow, and it's all on purpose, right? It's watching what they're doing, and even if that guy's considered the best coach out there, I'm trying to figure out what he's trying to do, and then okay, I gotta do it even better, right? So the idea of whether it's a drill or a movement, it's saying, okay, I'm not just gonna see the drill and be like, oh, okay, that's really good for his feet. It's okay, why is this drill good? What are they trying to accomplish? And then how can I make it a little bit better? So even if it's in mechanics, right? Mechanics aren't a secret. People understand how to throw something, but people don't understand why. So it's always breaking down the why behind everything. And you ask any of my quarterbacks, I got 7-year-olds that can teach you, how to throw a football with perfect biomechanics, right? They understand it. Whether it's just how we control our feet or our hips, all my guys understand the why behind everything. And I think that's what makes them, learn a lot better, is because they miss a throw, they understand why they missed it. So I wouldn't say there's accounts that like I follow and I'm like, oh, like they're the go-to. It's watching everything. It's watching everything and how different guys teach the same thing. Like I'm not teaching anything that much different than other guys. It's just how you teach it, right? So I'm convinced I teach it better than a lot of other people, right? But then there's some guys who teach it differently. So it's just finding the differences, but also trying to improve everything everybody else does, right? So
Wow. Well,
yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, like I don't know what more you want to hear, but like that was for me. It was like like a half hour. So best 30 minutes of my life.
Books, by the way, I still haven't gotten my book.
Oh, what? That's true. You need to. I
I
need to
need
get you a book. That's right.
to
That's right.
get
For
the
everyone
book.
who doesn't know, I wrote a book. It's called The Spirit of a Champion. I mean, the whole team is in it. The Bulldogs. Um, you can also find it on Amazon. This video is not to promote the book, but
Promote your
find
book.
it on Amazon. The Spirit of a Champion. Thank you for mentioning it, by the way. Um, Actually, there's one thing now that we're talking about it. I'd like to sit down with you and see if we can get the books to your athletes.
Definitely.
But first, yeah, I need to get it to you so you can read it and make sure it's the right material.
Gotcha.
Um, but to be honest, as we come to a close, I just want to thank you, not only for showing up today, but for all the moments, bro, that we've had personally. You've helped me grow and get to the next level in a lot of parts of my life. and I'm looking forward the future, and to the big news coming up.
Yeah,
And Flip, and for everyone who doesn't know, you're gonna be a dad, right?
yeah, we got a little one on the way coming in June. Oh,
So congrats on that.
yeah,
Congrats on that, man. And I'm gonna hit you up right after the video.
perfect.
But thank you, bro.
All right, bro. Always a pleasure, and we'll see each other soon. We'll see each other
Yes,
soon.
sir.
All right, later,
Yes,
man.
sir. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. It was your boy Avatarfit, Golden Nuggets with Myles Quinn Gibbon, the QB movement. I hope you enjoyed. I'm going to post it in my IGTV so you can watch it again. Have a blessed day. Peace up. Hey, time down.